Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to another webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly. And I'm joined once again by Shane Riley, who is, of course, the Vice President of International Sales at Virgin Voyages. Hello, Shane. How are you?
Hello, ahoy, Lucy Huxley.
I was expecting you to say hello, London.
I know. Well, I was going to say, last time we were together, we were looking much more glamorous on a stage, giving away champagne at the Globes, right? Wasn't it a good night?
It was such a good night. I get so giddy by the time. I just love your bit, and it was brilliant this year because you had Abby, the hostess, which really switched
We
it
took
up.
it to a new level, didn't we? I mean, it was brilliant. But the thing is, because on stage, we couldn't really hear her singing. So I was like, is she singing? Is she singing? But she was
Yeah.
brilliant. So I
Oh,
stepped off
no.
stage and heard her. She's so good.
She
So,
was
yeah.
amazing. And then you ridiculed Luke.
As always. Well, Luke, for those of you that weren't there, Luke really wanted to come to the Globes and he kept literally sent me a begging letter about coming to the Globes. And
Oh,
Luke heads up our global training. So I said to him, if you want to come to the Globes, you have to do a job. And he said, he literally said, I will do anything.
and you took it
So,
literally.
so I dressed him as a giant champagne bottle, which I think was a career highlight for all of us.
We've got a fantastic photo of it. We'll put it online, and it's probably there already, but we'll make sure everyone can see that because
Oh,
it's
yeah, that way.
very amusing. But thank you for supporting it. It was a brilliant part of the night, as it always is, but somehow it was even wilder this time than before. So thank you for that. It made everybody was on their chairs, waving their napkins, just going mad. Some people had their chairs above their heads. Do you remember
I know,
that?
right. The health and safety team weren't happy with me, but never mind. We broke a few rules.
It's all right. No, nobody was harmed in the Shake for Champagne incident
Not that
this
we
year.
know
All
of,
right.
anyway.
No, exactly. Well, listen, that was great, but we're here to talk about some more great things that are happening with you guys. Lots going on, but particularly in terms of expansion, Shane, and what you're doing with your
Yes.
team to support the trade. So there's a lot, so can you take us through it?
There's a lot. Yes, I'll work my way through it because there's a lot of expansion we talked about. So you guys know and recovered covered for us and recorded in the pandemic, we doubled the size of our team.
Yeah.
So we went from 4 to 8 during the pandemic. And that was at a time when people were scaling back. And for us, it was important to scale up because really there was so much talent that was going to waste that we wanted to capture as much talent into the market as we can. And we're now to our next phase of our expansion. So that has meant there's some changes. So there's been some promotions and there are some people coming back to the industry that have left during the pandemic that are now
That
coming.
is that is so good, isn't it? That
Yeah,
we've
that was a
attracted
big
them
thing.
back.
That was a big focus for us. How can we bring people back into the industry, and how can we retain people in the industry as well? So people are considering other journeys. Then we want to make sure that we kept them into it. So the first one, and the one I'm really excited about, is because it helped me out massively, is the wonderful SJ Walker. Many of you will know has been with us for a few years. SJ is now being promoted to Director of Sales, so she's going to be taking all of our trade strategy. All of the trade sales team reporting to SJ. So we're so pleased about that one. And it's kudos to SJ. She's done an incredible job over the last few years. And to be able to take the reins of the trade side of the team is incredible. And the reason she's doing that is because for the first time ever, we have introduced a dedicated marketing team to the UK market. So we've now got Gemma Major, who's joined us from our cousin in the clouds over at Virgin Atlantic. So Gemma has joined us to head up international marketing, and she is supported by Seb and Kelly, who are going to help make sure that we can spread more of the world of Virgin Voyages through all the marketing channels that we have as well. So that really helps us out. So it means that I've got another string to my bow looking after the marketing team as well.
And they do marketing for trade as well as consumer, do they?
Yes, they'll do trade and consumer marketing. Majority of their work right now is the trade. So they're helping the trade to understand what the best avenues are to market Virgin Voyages, how to get the best return for any investments that they're making, and the best messages to be able to go out to.
And presumably providing them with some of the materials that they might need.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so they're helping to create that. We've got a studio that's helping create that work as well. So it's a big step forward for us to have that team dedicated into the UK because they understand the market, they understand what the UK needs, and we can tailor our messages accordingly to the UK audience.
Brilliant. All right. Okay. What's next?
There's even more. There's even more news. So we have brought on some new people, which is great. But before we announce that, we have promoted a few people along the way as well. So our wonderful Kerry, that many of you will know as brilliant support, and the singing Kerry, she goes everywhere. Kerry is actually going to be removed from behind the scenes. She's coming out of the curtain, and she's now going to be our dedicated person on the ground in Scotland. So we actually have a business development exec in Scotland and Northern England now. So we've had Layla taking care of that for a while. but Layla had a huge area to cover. But we thought for Scotland in particular, it was really important for us to have somebody Scottish who understands the area, understands the different needs and challenges. So had to have someone dedicated to Scotland. We're super pleased about that, and Kerry can't wait to get out there. So
nice that you brought her out from backstage. I like that.
Yeah, we love seeing her flourish. She came in as this kind of really shy person, and we thought, oh, she's not really shy, but how do we bring her out of her shell? And she's just done phenomenal. So she did an incredible job for us behind the scenes, and is now going to be heading out front facing.
Kerry's surname, sorry, Kerry
Buchanan. Kerry Buchanan.
Kerry
Buchanan. I'm not even going to do the accent.
You just did, and there's now people all over Scotland. Curious.
I think it's a Kerry Buchanan. That's a good accent, right?
Not bad. It's not me to judge. We'll see what letters we get sent in.
We'll see. If I offended anyone, I apologise. But we will, of course, backfill Kerry, because brilliant support is an area that we know the trade love, because it enables them to get all the answers that they need quickly. And we had Kerry dedicated in the UK for that. So we're now going to bring up somebody from the ships who works in my onboard sales team. He's coming back to the UK, called Chris Woodcock, and he's going to be leading that team. And then we're bringing somebody back who I've loved for a long time. She's worked for a number of different companies, but left the industry because of the pandemic. Sarah Gilligan, that many people will know, she's going to be coming back into the industry, and she's back where she belongs. So we're delighted to bring her back into the industry. So that's super
fantastic. I love that. I mean, we're actually doing a few stories now about people coming back, which is just wonderful, because we were so worried when we'd lost all this talent, like you mentioned at the start. So great that we can harness that again.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, my remit is much more than the UK. So we've got more roles expanded across the EU markets and down into Australia as well. So we do have two famous names that people will know, definitely. So Matthew LeBurn, who's joining us from Princess Cruises. He's going to be heading up our European strategy. And then we've also got the wonderful Mark Lohman, another singer. We've got
I was about to say, what is this?
So we got Mark Lohman, who's also joining us from Princess Cruises, and Mark is going to be heading up Australia. So he's going to be backwards and forwards. He's going to be racking up some air miles, isn't he? So he's doing all right.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Well, we'll have to get him singing, definitely. That's
we've got Kerry's a singer. We've got Mark, who'd be a good singer. You said I didn't sound bad when you heard me. So
you did. I mean, that was one of the biggest surprises of last year, I'd say, Shane. I mean, so for those who don't know, Shane and the Virgin team with their airline cousins did a big event at World Travel Market, and Shane rocked up on stage and sang Shallow. So channeling is in a Bradley Cooper, and actually did a pretty good job of it, I'd have to say. Don't give out compliments unless they are warranted. So
I know you don't normally give out compliments. I'll take that, Hux. Thank you very much. But yeah, I mean, I'm available for hire. I'm very cheap. So if that helps.
Well, we've heard that as well. But all right, so that's it. That's your
that's it. I think we've got everyone. Yeah, so it's a huge expansion, and we've got promotion.
Now in the team, how many now?
We'll be 16 now, 16. Yeah. So we doubled again. So we've doubled in size again, which is amazing. And that really is kudos to the support that we've had from our first mates that are our trade partners. And you've covered so much for us over the last year. It feels like we did squeeze in 3 years into a year, and we'll be doing the same thing again this year. So with two ships.
I was going to say, you've got 2 ships launching this year. So I imagine this is, obviously supporting the sales you're already getting. And we'll talk about Wave in a second, but this is clearly in preparation for what is going to, I guess, be another big year for you.
Yes, we got 2 new ships coming. So we do have Resilient Lady. So Resilient Lady will be joining us in May, and she'll be sailing from Athens through some beautiful Greek island itineraries and up to the Adriatic coast. And then she'll actually be then repositioning down to Australia for our winter, their summer. So she's going to be spending some time down there. And then we have Brilliant Lady, which is ship number 4. So yeah, 2 ships to come this year. And we look at it thinking, there's a big challenge. But next year we'll be complaining that we haven't got a new ship to launch. So I'm embracing it while we can. And of course, these ships were meant to have 18 months apart. But obviously, as we know, COVID put all of our plans closer together. But we also have an incredible year.
And that created quite a tall order for you. That's it's a big deal. How is the UK performing then in terms of delivering and sales and putting passengers on these ships?
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of obviously very exciting announcements from other brands over the last few months about how well sales have been going. But last week. I run the numbers and ran the numbers again because I wasn't quite sure whether they were correct. But we've had the best month that we've ever had in the UK, predominantly driven by our trade partners. So the numbers have just increased so dramatically. It's been brilliant. It's like a light switch has been switched on for the new year. Wave has been what we all hoped it was going to be last year. And performance has just continued to go from strength to strength. And we're having new partners sign up. We're having existing partners do even better. So it's going really well.
I was going to say, what do you put it down to? Presumably you, like everyone, has got some really good Wave incentives or pricing out in the market. Is it price driven, or is it just because people really get your product now, or is it which itineraries is it that are selling?
Yeah, it's a number of factors. It is definitely not price driven because we're holding our pricing up. When we're working with the trade, our message from my team is work smarter, not harder. Work for higher margins, keep and retain your higher margins, because obviously we work hard enough as it is. We don't want to be giving any of those margins away. So it's definitely not price. I think what it is we've been able to have some unique UK messaging for the first time. So having Gemma and her team been able to shape what our marketing message in the UK. And we brought a campaign into the UK that works really well. So we've got the free bar tab promotion. So we've got up to $600 worth of free drinks. So from the UK, it's huge. And we exclusively revealed that with you back at the Clear Engagement Forum at the end of last year. For us, it really helps us to be able to tweak those messages to what the UK really needs. But the other part of it is we're now seeing the fruition, the fruits of the labor of all of that work we did pre-Wave. So we had thousands of people join us on board Valiant Lady last year. They're really waiting for the new itineraries. We had Valiant Lady did really well last year. Now we've got Resilient on sale. We've done really well. And we've got those half world cruises where you reposition from Athens down to Australia. They've sold incredibly well. So we've had such a wide range of product that now appeals to so many different first mates. And
is it an even split between booking the Med or booking the Caribbean, or are you finding
mainly the Med is really the big focus for us. The Med, the Med and the repositioning cruises down to Australia, that's been the big push from a UK perspective. But this year we'll be doing a lot of education around Caribbean product for the winter. So I think that is a big opportunity for us for this year, is making sure that we get as many sailors heading long haul over to the Caribbean for the winter, because people think of us, our Caribbean products, as 4 and 5 nights. In the Caribbean, we now have 4, 5, 6, 8 nights. So there is definitely more product for the UK market.
Lots of flexibility, and they can perhaps package that up with other bits and pieces around and then do a
and we've got the Bimini Beach Club, and we do have an incentive in the market right now called Bring on Bimini, in partnership with Virgin Atlantic. And of course, you guys will be covering it for us at Travel Weekly. So that incentive is out now. So we'll be using all of that stuff that we're talking about for Bimini Beach Club to really make Bimini Beach Club famous more so in the UK. So people know when they're going to the Caribbean, they're going to be getting a Virgin experience without a doubt.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. Can't wait to cover that for you, as you say. Just talk a little bit more. You mentioned there that you're finding you've got new agents. I mean, you're getting more from the ones that you've traditionally worked with. But what about it's great that you're finding new agents. It's what every cruise line wants to achieve, is to try and reach other people, because then they can reach new to cruise customers. So how are you, what kind of agents are you now working with, and how are you finding them?
Yeah, we're finding a broad spectrum of agents that are working with us. And what I do find really interesting is quite often it's driven from the sales team up. So the sales team is saying, we're getting inquiries about Virgin Voyages. How do we push these along? So we've actually had a huge new announcement recently that we've just partnered with TUI. So we haven't been working with TUI up until this point. So as of last week, we've got the partnership with TUI in place, which is a huge one. But we're also working with smaller, more independent businesses that I think they've never really latched onto cruise or haven't sold much cruise before, but they're seeing that Virgin Voyages sits in a really unique place where it is a cruise product, but it's not the traditional cruise experience.
Yeah.
So people who love going to boutique properties and may love a W hotel, or looking to head to some of the all-inclusive Caribbean properties, they'll love what Virgin Voyages has to offer, because we have all of that dining included. We have so much proposition with our destinations where you can spend more time ashore than you perhaps you would do on a typical itinerary. So they're looking at Virgin to go, actually, it's a really good introduction to taking a cruise holiday for the first time. And then what we do find is when people are sailing with us, we have up to 50% of our sailors rebooking whilst they're on board. So they're actually rebooking for their next holiday before they even leave. So
And if they booked originally through an agent, do you direct that back to the agent?
100%, yes, it goes directly back to where they book through. So again,
Nice.
it helps if you're a smaller agency, then of course you need to make your time work so much harder. So for most cases, that one booking is worth 1.5 bookings, because they, half of those people are rebooking to come back. So we can take care of them. And of course, our commercial proposition is incredibly rich as well. So they can earn some really good commission levels on some really good fares. So it's not a huge percentage of a small fare. It's a really good percentage of a really strong fare price point as well.
And presumably that point about the unique thing that you guys offer is the appeal for TUI, because they've obviously got their own cruise line in Marella, but I guess Virgin Voyages offers them something that's very different to what they have on their own.
It doesn't compete with their product. What we do really well with TUI is TUI do really well rather is they're very used to selling premium product. Their stores have premium nature to them, and that's where we find our sailors naturally migrating to those stores that have much more of an Apple store type feel to them. They've got very high quality staff. They're very used to selling premium holidays, and really it is a perfect.
That could be a really fruitful partnership for you.
So it's taken us a while to get over the line, but of course for all very other reasons. But we're so happy. The team at TUI are incredible, and already we've just seen such an amazing response from their retail.
Really?
The buzz and the excitement across their network is like.
That's great. It's only been well, you said it's only been a week, so that's amazing.
Yeah, we've had over 1,500 of their staff join the Bridge, which is our dedicated Facebook group. And I love posting. They've seen their post where they're doing little blue and red heart together. And I'm like, oh, they love it. We love them. So they're a great partner, and they're going to be a huge part of our strategy as we move forward. But obviously that scale, but more importantly, we've also got, or equally as important, we've got independent agencies that maybe have 1 or 2 stores or a home working network. And for us, they're the gems, right? They're the ones that actually can do really great quality bookings, and that's what it's about. It's not about stacking high, sell it cheap with us. We're about actually retain your margin, maintain the higher price points, and make sure that you can work smarter, not harder.
All right. Well, I'm conscious of time, but let's just look ahead to this year. You've mentioned, a couple of things that you're looking forward to. Obviously, ships. You've got, as you say, Resilient Lady launching in Greece, which would be very exciting. That's clearly going to be fun. I don't know if you can give us any insight on what's going to happen there.
Yeah, well, we are working on some plans, of course. As you know, we don't go quietly into the night, do we?
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's not long, and you've bound to got something crazy happening.
Yeah, so we'll have some more information coming very, very soon. But of course, we'll be hosting our trade friends there, and we expect you there, Luce. I expect you to be smashing some plates with me somewhere.
Oh, definitely doing
that. But the great thing about Greece is we've got some amazing itineraries, right? So we have overnights in Mykonos, late stays in Santorini, which means that we've got some brilliant shore things. So our shore excursions are amazing. But Resilient Lady will also be debuting some brand new entertainment and dining offerings as well. So although we're saying the ships are obviously the same concept, they're the same ships in design, there will be some unique things that we'll be showcasing on Resilient as well. So there's some more stuff to come on that. But I had a sneak peek into some of it, and I'm very, very excited. So I was like, it's great to have a new ship. It's great the fact that they're obviously all consistent. But I'm really pleased to see some new entertainment.
Yeah, nice to switch it up a bit, because I expect you'll then get a bit of people moving across to the different ships to see what's new.
Yeah, I did a sneak peek, and I was like, what? They set it up again, which is brilliant. So yeah.
All right, well, we'll have to get you back on here to talk about that when you're allowed to reveal a bit more.
I'm going to get you a new backdrop. I'm going to get you a dedicated Virgin Voyages backdrop.
I need one. It's very plain compared to you. You've got your Virgin poster.
I've got my magnum of champagne there. I've got my little plants. Yeah.
I know. I'm very jealous. All right. Well, listen, we're grateful for your time, Shane. As always, it's great to hear what's going on. It's only going one way for you guys. You're absolutely smashing it. So good luck for the rest of Wave. And please come on and talk to us about all these new things when you can.
Will do. Thank you, Lucy.
All right. See you soon.